Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to the Succeed Without Selling Salon. Today, we are going to be talking about a very important subject, which is monitoring your progress. So this is something that a lot of people don't do in a timely fashion. They don't do it effectively. So they end up not knowing why things work and not knowing why things don't work. And if you think about it, when we create our sales strategy that includes networking and prospecting and selling and follow-up and quoting and all of those things, that's an awful lot to juggle. If we don't have a process that we can monitor, then some of those things are going to fall down. And that is what I see happen an awful lot for many folks. So what happens is they start moving, they're doing great, they get really, really busy, and something drops. So maybe prospecting drops or follow-up drops. And if it goes a little too long, then the salesperson is like afraid to reach out because they feel like, ooh, too much time has gone by. So I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Just own it. Just reach back out to them. If you feel like too much time has gone by, say, boy, seems like ages since we talked, whatever it is, but you got to do it. Okay. So we have to get over ourselves on that one. A lot of times the other person hasn't even noticed how long it is. We think it's been a long time because we're supposed to be paying attention to this and they're busy doing other things. The priority isn't as high with them as it is with us. Right. So just go ahead and make the bold move. So you have a process, you have a system, you're putting it on the calendar, you're working it. Hopefully you have goals and you're thinking, okay, how do I know if I'm hitting my goals? How do I know if I'm doing the right thing? How do I know if I'm spending my time in the right places? So I have a system that I think works really well that I want to share with all of you. And it goes like this. It's the 34 repeat program. It's really pretty basic. It goes like this. Every 30 days, do a review of the past 30 days. Ask yourself 4 questions. What worked? What didn't work? Did I hit my goal? And what am I going to do for the next 30 days? So, to repeat, what worked? What didn't work? Did I hit my goal? And what am I going to do for the next 30 days? Now, let's break it down. The reason why I like a 30-day review is this. You will be able to identify in 30 days, every 30 days, the answers to those questions. So what happens with a lot of people is if we don't do the review, maybe we do it quarterly, maybe we do it towards the end of the year when we're getting ready to do taxes. We can't remember what didn't work. Okay. So, here we are, we're motoring along, we get to a point and we say, wow, you know what? I have not hit my goals. But we don't know why. Because so much time has passed that we can't really point to something that just didn't work the way we wanted it to. If we narrow it down to 30 days, it's easier for us to look back and say, okay, so what did I do? Who did I meet with? How many people did I meet with? What were the conversations that we had? What questions did I ask? What did I find out? What didn't I find out? Whatever. That's why those questions come in. Okay. And when we do it every 30 days, then the answers help inform what we're going to do for the next 30 days. That's why the last part is repeat, right? So If you ask yourself the question, what worked? There's probably a lot of things that worked. And you're probably going to want to repeat those things because they worked. When you ask yourself the question, what didn't work, it is equally valuable, because now what you're going to do is say, okay, this didn't work. Why didn't it work? What was it about it? Do I have to adjust it? Do I have to get rid of it? Whatever it was, you can ask yourself those questions in real time, because it's top of mind because it's only been 30 days. And then you ask yourself, did I hit my goal? Now, sometimes the goal is revenue. Sometimes the goal is number of client acquisitions. Sometimes the goal is number of meetings that you're going to get. Sometimes the goal is registrations for an event. So I don't want us to get stuck on the goal is always revenue based, because at some point it's going to be, but it isn't necessarily every month. So for example, if you were launching a new product, there's a lot of things that go into a successful launch. So let's say you're planning on launching it in March. So in January, there are certain goals you're going to want to accomplish that are going to lead you toward that launch in March. Okay? But it's not necessarily revenue. It's not necessarily client acquisition. It has to do whatever that goal is. So we work our goals backwards. We pick our goal, then we work backwards and say, okay, in order to hit that goal, what do I need to start with? I think one of the mistakes that people make that results in goals not being achieved is setting a big goal and then not breaking it down into manageable bites, manageable pieces. So what happens is they don't actually determine what the initial steps are and how they're going to do them, and then they don't monitor that to see how they're doing, how they're progressing, what's working, what isn't working, to help them continue down the road. And then they just get down the road and they have no idea why they are where they are. And look at it this way. It's not necessarily that you won't have hit your goals. What if you exceeded your goals? What if it was November and you looked back and you had exceeded your goals? Would you know what you did in order to make that happen? Because you're going to want to repeat it because it works. But if you don't know, you can't. So this is why monitoring is so important. There's a chance that you could have exceeded your goals even more if you had been monitoring on a regular basis, and you could look at it and say, okay, I can see these are the things that are working. I'm going to keep doing them. I'm going to do more of them because they are getting me the results that I want. This is why monitoring is so important. And then that fourth question is, what am I going to do for the next 30 days? Well, that is based on the first three questions, right? You're going to continue the things that work. You're going to adjust or get rid of the things that didn't work. If you hit your goal, you're going to decide what your goal is going to be for the next 30 days. If you didn't hit your goal, if you were under it, you're going to decide what you're going to do for the next 30 days. If you went over your goal, you're going to decide what you're going to do for the next 30 days. And I will share a word of caution with you. If you exceeded your goal, that is not a reason to then skate for the next 30 days. Okay? You still want to maintain whatever your goal is for the next 30 days. You don't want to cut it short because you want to do better than your goals, right? This isn't about just barely meeting them. It's about doing the best we can do with whatever those goals are. So if you didn't hit your goal, you're going to change some of what you're doing, and you're going to say, okay, for the next 30 days, I'm going to implement this. Then I'm going to look back and monitor and see how it went. If you hit your goals, same thing. If you exceeded your goals, same thing. Hey, this is what worked. I'm going to do more of this in the next 30 days, and I'm going to look at it and see, did I exceed my goal again? And then you just repeat this every 30 days. You get into this habit. You put it on your calendar. This is what I'm doing at the end of the month, every single month. And this is how you are able to monitor your sales progress. It will further enforce the idea of having your actions on a calendar, creating a process and actually putting it on the calendar as if those are appointments. So you're sure you're getting those things done because you're going to be monitoring it at the end of the month. So, see how all these things work together? And this is a process and a plan that works really well because it's consistent, because it covers all the bases, and it gives you the opportunity to adjust in real time. So that is what I'm going to leave you with as far as monitoring goes. If you have a process or a system that works really well, I would love to hear what it is. I am in no way saying that this is the only way to get this done. I just know this is a way that works really well. So feel free to reach out to me to share what you've got going on. And I hope you'll join me next Tuesday for another Succeed Without Selling Salon.